Okay, Ed's got a Trophy 4 Pontiac engine there, so we're going to have a quick preview here. Okay, Ed, this is a pretty interesting looking engine. What in the world do you have here?
Well, this is a Pontiac, a 64 Tempest. That was a little compact car.
Yeah.
And it was really a strange motor. I don't know whose idea it was, but this is a half a Pontiac V8. Now, we had a speed shop here in town many years ago that did take a Pontiac and cut it in half.
Okay.
They did, took a Pontiac V8, and they had it in a dragster way back a long time ago. Then, I don't know who got the idea, but Pontiac come out and made this for a Tempest. It's really about the strangest motor you ever seen.
Okay.
Because it's a half of a V8. I think it's a 196 cubic inches.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
194.
194. It's got a single barrel carburetor on it. It has this intake gasket, would be the same as a V8. Has this messed up intake with a little heat riser here. It comes around this pipe, goes around the other side to heat the carburetor. And here's the gas linkage a little bit, which is kind of okay. Kind of thing. It has power steering on it. And the water pump looks, and the front cover looks exactly like a V8.
No kidding.
They have a little block thing in here, cast it off. It keeps this so this V8 water pump will go on here and block the water pump off for the V8.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. The starter is kind of complicated. The motor mounts here, we look at these a little bit. That thing don't need to be in there. But anyways, the motor mounts, and then the starter is a weird starter bolted up here close to the flywheel. Distributor in the back, like a V8 would be. Of course, it's only a 4-cylinder distributor.
Right.
And it had this weird-looking Bellhousing. Even this is part of the block. This is part of the casting.
V8 block. Yeah.
It looks like somewhat of part of the V8, but it's not. It's totally different.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, the V8 didn't have anything like this on it before. So it's got this little bitty Bellhousing on it. And then it had a solid drive shaft.
Oh,
that went back to the Transaxle.
I remember hearing about that, a rope drive they called it.
Yeah, and it had a center bearing. And the center bearing was down lower, so the shaft went downhill for tunnel in the passenger's feet.
Yeah, they wanted foot room.
Yes. So that shaft ran in a flex all the time.
That's wild.
And then the oil filter, we'll go around here, the oil filter, special for the air cleaner. I do not have an air cleaner for it, but we'll straighten this up. But the exhaust manifold has a little development down here for this heat riser that goes, that pipe that goes around the front to heat the carburetor.
That is wild.
And the oil filter is the same as V8. The same mount type thing with a smaller filter.
Yeah.
Yeah. The back of the engine. Then if you go over here a little bit, this is freeze plug would be the same as a V8. It's got part of the V8 Bellhousing here. And they left it off over there.
Right.
They should have had another freeze plug here on a V8 and another bolt here, but they cast it off. So it's really, I've had this motor for quite a while. It's lucky I have it complete as it is.
Yeah.
With the carburetor and starter and stuff. So I was always thinking about cleaning it up and painting it and make a stand for it so it could run.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. You see the Bellhousing here is actually a flywheel back in there. And it had an enclosed whole housing that went all the way to the rear end. Like a box.
Wow. Because the transmission was at the back.
Transaxle.
Yeah.
And some of the cars then, the Tempest had a Transaxle. Then they took that Tempest and then, like Mickey Thompson or somebody, and they had a fiberglass cover factory that covered that Transaxle inside, in the back of the car.
Oh, okay.
Then they took this out and put a 421 heavy duty in it, high performance, and raced this with a V8 in it and a Tempest as a super stock car.
Because it would bolt right in?
It would just basically bolt right in.
Just about.
The car was wide enough, the engine compartment was wide enough for it.
Wow. Well, I mean, that power steering pump sticks out just as much as it would on a big car.
On a big car, yeah.
That's wild.
I'm really lucky to have all this stuff that all matches.
Oh, yeah, because digging up all these accessories and so
Would
on.
be impossible.
Yeah, right.
Especially the intake manifold and the exhaust system.
Yeah. That is so interesting. What a different
Yeah.
looking.
And even the casting that hold the thing. And the alternator went on here too. The alternator possibly went right here.
Yeah.
This area, yeah. And run by a belt. Probably the same
Yeah.
belt maybe. Because it only has a single belt there.
Yeah.
A single belt here. A single pulley here. Probably the alternator set right here.
Uh-huh.
Like this. And then would run that with one belt. Quite a unique motor.
Really unique. Okay.
I don't know what year they made them.
One is what I saw. It
Or
started
61, okay. Maybe it was 61 or 2.
Yeah.
That's pretty obvious. I
Well,
mean,
you know
pretty
what?
unique for 1961. If that's,
Yeah.
if that's
Well,
what
if I
year.
remember, they came up with the compact cars. Corvair was rear engine.
Yeah,
and then the
that was
other
60.
ones- Yeah.
Yeah, 60s.
And then 61, they had the Oldsmobile, Buick, and Pontiac small cars.
Yeah.
But they were all a little bit different, weren't they? Each
Yeah,
one.
each one was a little different.
I
yeah.
think the Buick made that aluminum small V8 for their engine.
I have one of those here, a
Do
V8.
you?
Yeah, 215 aluminum.
That's right.
And this laying right over here, I have a lot. I think I have 2 of those.
Okay.
And then one of them has a 4-barrel intake on them.
No way.
Yeah. And so I think I have enough to make a complete motor one of those too.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then they had Buick and Pontiac had that aluminum V8.
I think
250
Oldsmobile.
Oldsmobile, yeah.
Yeah.
And the crankshaft was different. So between those 2 of them, the crankshaft, the bolts were different.
Is that right?
So one was a Pontiac and the other was the Oldsmobile.
Okay.
Yeah. So they weren't the same motor.
Yeah.
The last time I had worked on those was some years ago.
Yeah.
A guy caught me from, I think it was in Alaska somewhere, brought me 2 of those, and they were in a boat that they have, a flat bottom boat that they took up the river.
Huh.
And possibly brought goods, like whatever goods, up the river. The people lived up in Alaska
Oh.
and delivered mail up the rivers.
No
So
kidding.
sometimes that flat bottom boat was more of a jet boat, so it didn't have a prop, and it could go over about 6 inches of water, but it had 2 of these motors in it. I
Wow.
think I rebuilt both those motors for the guy, and he took them back to Alaska.
Yeah, those are lightweight, being aluminum.
Yes, aluminum. Yeah, all aluminum block and cylinder heads and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that GM gave up on them and Land Rover got them.
Oh, did they? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what ended up happening.
Yeah, so
That's
quite a
interesting.
motor, yeah.
This is so cool. So, well, I'm going to have to come back with another video when you get some work done on this.
Yeah.
I'd love to see this thing opened up, see how it looks. You
Yeah.
have to get it going.
Okay, good.
Good. Well, thank you,
Good
Ed.
day,
That was a
good
nice
day.
pit stop
a little
here.
interesting.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks for being a part of BarryT's Garage. And if you want some Ed Smith memorabilia, some hats and shirts and all, it's just edsmithspeed.shop. Head over there and have a look.